Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video tutorial I'll be showing you how to make the simple granny circle. I had made a previous tutorial on my V-stitch border and I made a very simple granny circle in that tutorial, and I got so many requests to do this, so here is the requested tutorial for you guys. The granny circle is actually quite simple. It's very easy. It's perfect for beginners to try as well, and you can also make your granny circle however large or however small as you would like. They're basically 4 rows of stitches primarily, but you can work the rows depending on the size that you want. Like for instance, here I went ahead and made 6 rows for this placemat. Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so you can make it like that, or you can make it smaller. Like for instance, here I've made just 3 rows of stitches and made a smaller granny circle. Or you can also make it like this one here. I've worked 4 rows. Okay, so you have 1 2 3 and 4, and I've just changed the colors to sort of add this flower in a circle effect. Okay, so you can work the rows as you would like. They're primarily 4 rows, as I mentioned earlier. There are 4 rows of stitches, and if you want to make it larger, all you need to do is repeat rows 2 3 and 4 again and again. Okay, so after your row 4, your row 5 will be similar to row 2, row 6 will be similar to row 3, row 7 will be similar to row 4, and so on and on. So you just repeat rows 2 3 and 4 again and again till you get the size that you want for your project. Okay, so this is really fun to do, and if you would like to learn how I made the granny circle, then please keep watching. For this project, I'll be using a 4mm size crochet hook and the yarn corresponding to the size of my hook. You may use whichever crochet hook size is available to you. Just make sure that the yarn you use corresponds to your hook size. Okay, and now to begin your granny circle, you may use the slip knot method, or you can also begin with the magic circle. So it's your preference really. If you want to learn how to make either of them, I will leave the links to my previous beginner tutorials where I teach you how to make them in a more detailed manner. So you may click on the links and review those tutorials and come back to this one if you need to. Okay, so for this tutorial, I'll just start with the slip knot. Okay, so go ahead and make your slip knot. Alright, and then once you've made your slip knot, now we're ready to make a foundation chain. So for this granny circle, we'll be making a foundation chain of 5. Alright, so to make a foundation chain, all you need to do is make your hook go below your yarn like so. Alright, grab your yarn, pull it down and pull it through like that. Okay, so that makes a chain 1 right there. So you need to do 4 more of that to get a total of 5 chains. Alright, so just go below your yarn, grab your yarn, pull it down and pull it through. 3, 4 and 5. Alright, so once you've made your chain of 5, now we're ready to make this foundation chain into a foundation ring for our granny circle, right? So for that, you need to make a slip stitch into the first chain right here. Okay, so if you're not quite sure where your first chain is, all you need to do is count backwards from your hook. So when you count backwards from your hook, you're not going to count the loop on your hook, rather you're going to start counting from the one below it. So this one right here. Okay, so this is 1 2 3 4 and 5. So this chain space right here, we are going to make a slip stitch. So to make a slip stitch, all you need to do is insert your hook right there like so, grab your yarn, pull it through and pull it through again. Okay, so that is a slip stitch, and we've converted our foundation chain into a foundation ring like so. Okay, and now we are ready to begin with row 1. So for row 1, the first thing you need to do is to make a chain of 4. Okay, so you need to make a chain 4. 1 2 3 and 4. All right, so the first 3 chains are going to act as one double crochet. So when I say double crochet, this is the US term. Okay, so in the UK that will be your treble crochet stitch. Okay, so the first 3 are going to act as one double crochet, and the last one chain is going to act as the chain space between your stitches. Okay, now as I've always mentioned before, make sure that you hold your loose end. So this loose end right here, make sure you're holding it along with your foundation chain like this, so that when you work your stitches around, your loose end sort of gets into the stitches and you do not have to worry about it later on. Okay, and also when you separate your circle like this, when you separate your yarn like this, you'll see there are 2 spaces opening up, right? This one here and this larger one here below. So make sure that all your stitches that you're going to work in row 1, that they are into this larger one below, this one right here, because that is the center of your ring. Okay, this one here is just the chain space. So make sure you're working all your stitches into the larger space here. Okay, so once we have made our chain 4, now what you're going to do is make one double crochet. Okay, so to make a double crochet, you're going to yarn over once like this. All right, and then you're going to insert your hook into the center of your ring like that. Grab your yarn, pull it down, pull it through. 3 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. 2 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. So that right there is one double crochet. Okay, and then we're just going to chain 1 like that and make another double crochet. So the same thing, you're going to yarn over once like this, go into the center space, grab your yarn, pull it through, 3 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn, pull through the next 2 loops. So another double crochet like that. We're going to chain 1 and basically repeat this all the way around. Okay, until we get a total of 12 double crochets. Okay, so this includes that first chain 4 that we made, right? This first chain 3 is going to act as one double crochet, so we're going to count that as 1, and then 11 more double crochets like so, with a chain 1 in between. Okay, so make sure you're chaining 1 in between and continuing this till you get a total of 12. So your initial chain 4 plus 11 double crochet. Okay, do not forget to chain 1 in between each of your double crochets, and then count till you get a total of 12. So here I've just completed my last double crochet. All right, and then I'm just going to chain 1. Okay, and then before we slip stitch and complete row 1, it's always good to count your stitches to make sure you didn't make any mistakes. Okay, so the first chain 3 that we made here, I said that will count as one double crochet, so we're just going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. All right, so we've got our 12 double crochet. Don't forget to chain 1 here after your last double crochet. Okay, and then to finish off with row 1, all you're going to do is make a slip stitch into the 3rd chain from the base. Okay, the first chains that we made, so into the 3rd one, so this one right here, we're just going to make a slip stitch. So insert your hook right there like so, grab your yarn, pull through and pull through again. Okay, so that right there completes our row 1 of our granny circle. And now we're going to start with row 2. Okay, so to begin row 2, you're just going to make a chain of 3. So you're just going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So 3 chains, and this 3 chain is going to act as our first double crochet in row 2. All right, and after that we're just going to make 1 double crochet into this space here, okay, into this gap space right here. All right, between these 2 double crochets from our previous row. So this space right here, we're just going to make 1 double crochet. So to make a double crochet, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to yarn over once, insert your hook into that gap space, grab your yarn, pull it through. Okay, we've got 3 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, 2 loops on our hook. Grab your yarn and pull through the next 2 loops. Okay, so including the chain 3 that we first made and this double crochet, now we have 2 double crochets in row 2. Okay, and now what you're going to do is chain 1 like that and make 2 double crochets into the next gap space. Okay, so this space right here, okay, this one right here between these 2 double crochets from the previous row. So here we are going to make 2 double crochets. So you're going to do the same thing, yarn over once, insert your hook into that gap space like so, grab your yarn, pull through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops, grab your yarn, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet. You're going to make another double crochet like so. Okay, so we have 2 double crochets into this gap space. And now we're going to chain 1 and we're basically going to work the same thing all the way around to complete our row 2. Okay, so again after we chain 1, we're going to make 2 double crochet into the next gap space. So this gap space right here, we're going to work 2 double crochet. Okay, again, so yarn over once, insert your hook into the gap space, grab your yarn, pull through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet. You're going to make another double crochet into that same gap space like so, chain 1 and then work 2 double crochet into the next gap space. So you're just going to repeat that. So 2 double crochets in this gap space, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next gap space, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the gap space. So you're just going to do that all the way around. So you'll have 2 double crochet, chain 1, another 2 double crochet into the next gap space like that. Okay, chain 1, 2 double crochet into the next gap space, so right here. Okay, so do that all the way around, and when you reach the end you should have a total of 24 double crochets. Okay, when you reach all the way here, okay, you should have 24 double crochets. So continue to do that. 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you right at the end of row 2. So here I'm almost done with my row 2. This is my last double crochet. Okay, and then we're just going to chain 1 before we slip stitch, and we're just going to count all our stitches in row 2 to make sure that we've done it right. So you need to have a total of 24 double crochets in row 2. Okay, so just count to make sure. So the first chain 3 is going to act as 1 double crochet, so we're going to count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so we've got our 24 double crochets in row 2. Okay, make sure you chain 1 after your last double crochet, and then to end our row 2, all you're going to do is make a slip stitch into the third chain that we made in the beginning. Okay, so this chain 3 in the beginning, we're going to count to the third chain space, so this one right here. Insert our hook there and make a slip stitch. Grab our yarn, pull through and pull through. Okay, so that right there ends our row 2. And now to begin row 3, all you're going to do is make a chain of 4. Okay, so go ahead and make your chain 4 like so. Alright, and then the first 3 chains in this chain 4 will act as 1 double crochet, and then the last chain will act as a chain space between our stitches. Alright, and now what you're going to do after you chained 4 is we are going to make 3 double crochet into the first gap space here. Okay, so now this might be a little tricky because when you see right below this chain that we made, this chain 4 that we made, you'll see a sort of a false gap space here, but this is not a gap space because these 2 double crochets from the previous row will count as a set. Okay, so make sure you're not working into the same stitch, you're not working right below the chain. Okay, make sure you're working into the proper gap space, so between your 2 sets of double crochet here. Okay, so this gap space is the one I'm talking about. Okay, so after your chain 4, you're just going to go straight into this first proper gap space, this one right here, and work 3 double crochets. Okay, so make sure that you understood what I said, that you don't work into this space here, rather you're going to work into the proper gap space, the first chain 1 we made right in row 2. Okay, so this space right here, we are going to make 3 double crochet. So you're going to start like so. You're going to yarn over once, go into that gap space, grab your yarn, pull through 3 loops on a hook, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. Okay, so we've got our 3 double crochets into that gap space. Okay, and then we're just going to chain 1 like so, and then go straight into the next gap space, so this gap space here. Okay, this one right here, and work another 3 double crochets all into that gap space. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Make your 3 double crochets into that gap space, into the next gap space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we have another 3 double crochets all into this next gap space. We're going to chain 1. Okay, and work another 3 double crochet into the next gap space. So after this 2 double crochets from the previous row, this next gap space right here. Alright, we're going to work another set of 3 double crochets. So you're basically going to be repeating this all the way around. Okay, you're going to work 3 double crochet into each gap spaces from the previous row, and then chain 1 in between. Okay, so we've got another 3 double crochet into this gap space, chain 1. Okay, don't forget to chain 1 in between all these sets of our 3 double crochet. Okay, so chain 1 and then again into the next gap space. So we worked into this one previously, so this one right here. Okay, this space we're going to work another 3 double crochet. So that's all you're going to be doing in this row. Just going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 double crochet, chain 1. Okay, and again into the next gap space right here, work another 3 double crochet. So just work that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the beginning here. Okay, all the way around. So work 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets all the way around. So 3 double crochet, chain 1. Now go into the next gap space, work another 3 double crochet. So continue that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end here. Okay, so I worked all the way around for row 3, and when we reach your last gap space, so this one right here, we are just going to make 2 double crochet instead of 3. Okay, we're just going to make 2 double crochet here because our initial chain 3 here will act as 1 double crochet for this gap space as well. Alright, so instead of doing 3 double crochets like we did all the way around, for the last gap space we'll just work 2 double crochet. Okay, So make your 2 double crochets like normal, okay, for your last gap space in row 3, like so. Alright, and then you'll see that your circle is forming, your granny circle is forming, and all you need to do to finish off row 3 is to slip stitch into the third chain that we made initially. Okay, so before you slip stitch again, it's always better to count your double crochets. So in row 3 you need to have a total of 36 double crochets, okay, or 12 groups of your 3 double crochet. So you need to have 12 groups like this, or a total of 36 double crochet all the way around. So once you've made sure you've got all the stitches right, to finish off row 3, just slip stitch into the third chain. So this chain right here, 1 2 3, right, just insert your hook right there, like so. Grab your yarn, pull through, okay, and pull through again. So that finishes your row 3, okay, and now we are ready to begin row 4. Okay, so to begin row 4 again, you're just going to chain 3. So 1 2 and 3, and this first 3 chain is going to act as our 1 double crochet in row 4 as well. Okay, and then what you're going to do is work 1 double crochet into this gap space here. Okay, so into the first gap space, so this gap space here, you're just going to work 1 double crochet, okay, like normal, like so. Alright, so now we have 2 double crochets including the first chain 3 we made for row 4, right? And after that you're just going to chain 1 like that, okay, and work another 2 double crochet into this same gap space, okay, that we just worked into. After your chain 1, you're going to work another 2 double crochet into that same gap space. So work another 2 double crochet there, okay, 1 and 2. All right, and then you're going to chain 1 like so. All right, and now we're going to go straight into the next gap space. So this one right here, okay, this space here, okay, and work 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet all into this space here. Okay, so you're going to make 2 double crochet, that's 1 2, okay, 2 double crochet, chain 1, all right, and another 2 double crochet in the same gap space. Okay, make another 2 double crochet, that's 1 and 2. So we worked 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet all into this gap space. Okay, after that you're going to chain 1 again, okay, and work the same thing into the next gap space. So 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet all into this very same gap space. Okay, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1 and another 2 double crochet into the same gap space, 1 and 2, okay, and then again we chain 1, okay, and work the same thing all the way around. So this is how your row 4 is going to be like. So you're going to chain 1, okay, in between the sets of your stitches, so chain 1, and then when you go into your gap space you're going to work 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet. Okay, so just work that all the way around and I'll meet you at the last gap space, okay, of row 4. So the pattern is repetitive, it's the same. So we did 2 double crochet, chain 1 and then another 2 double crochet in the same gap space. Pretty simple, right? Okay, chain 1. Okay, so we're done with this gap space. We chained 1 and then again we work into the next gap space. So this one right here, we'll be working 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet all into that gap space. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, chain 1 and another 2 double crochet into that very same gap space. Like so. Okay, again you chain 1 and continue that all the way around. Okay, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet into this gap space, then you chain 1 in between, work into the next gap space, do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet all into that gap space, chain 1, and then here again we do 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So work that all the way here and I'll meet you at the last gap space here. Alright, so here I've basically worked all the way around for my row 4 and I've reached the last gap space. So even in my last gap space, I'll be doing the same thing. I'll be doing 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet all into that same gap space. Okay, so in the last gap space, we're just going to be doing the same thing that we did all the way around. So 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Okay, and then you're just going to chain 1. Alright, and then to end our row 4, all you'll be doing is making a slip stitch into the 3rd chain right here. Okay, so just the first 3 chains that we made, you're just going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So you're just going to count till your 3rd chain, insert your hook there, grab your yarn, pull through and pull through again. Okay, to make a slip stitch, and that ends our row 4. Now you can end your project here if you would like to stop here and then maybe add another edging, another row of edging. You can maybe add a shell edging or a V-stitch border edging and end your project. If you want it to be larger, then all you need to do is repeat rows 2, 3 and 4 again and again till you get the size that you want. Okay, so I'll just be showing you another row. So I'll just show you how to add your rows. So I'll show you one more row. Okay, so the next row, that is row 5, that will be similar to our row 2. Okay, so I'll just show you that. So after, if you want to end here, all you need to do is chain 1 and cut off your yarn and sew in the excess. Okay, so in the end, but since I just want to show you how to add on and increase your granny circle, I'll just show you one more row. All right, so after we finished our row 4, all I'll be doing is chain 4 again. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. So for my row 5, I just started with a chain 4, and this chain 4 again, the first 3 chains will act as 1 double crochet, and then the last chain will act as the space in between. Okay, so that finishes that, and then we are just going to go into the gap space here. Okay, so after our 2 double crochets from the previous row, we have that gap space here. So we're going to work 2 double crochets here again. Okay, so work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Okay, so we worked 2 double crochet here, and then we're just going to chain 1 like that and work another 2 double crochet in the next gap space. Okay, so this space right here, we'll work 2 double crochet. So 1 and 2. Okay, chain 1. Okay, and work 2 double crochet again into the next gap space. So right here. Okay, in this gap space, we are going to add we are going to do 2 double crochet again. So that's all you're going to do. So it's repetitive from the second row. It's quite similar to our second row where we did 2 double crochet chain 1, 2 double crochet chain 1, and so on. So we are doing the same thing basically. 2 double crochet chain 1, 2 double crochet chain 1, and we are working into each of the gap spaces. Okay, I hope that made sense. So again, after that you chain 1, go into the next gap space, so this space right here, and we're going to do 2 double crochet. So 1 and 2, chain 1 in between, work another set of 2 double crochets into the next gap space. Okay, so we're basically working into the gap spaces created by our chain 1 in the previous row. Remember, we did our chain 1s in between, so we're basically working into that gap spaces, and we are just working our stitches. Okay, chain 1, and again we are going to work into this gap space, so the next gap space, and work 2 double crochets. So we're just going to go do that all the way around. So we're doing 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochet here, chain 1, 2 double crochet into the next gap space, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet. So that's how your row 5 will be. Okay, so work that all the way around, and I'll meet you right here. So here I've just worked the same pattern all the way around. So 2 double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet all the way around, and then here into our last gap space, so this one right here, remember we made our chain 4 at the beginning, right? So that first 3 chains will act as 1 double crochet for this gap space. Okay, so since we already have 1 double crochet done for this gap space, all you're going to do is do 1 double crochet. Okay, so instead of doing 2 double crochet like how we did previously in the other gap spaces, when we reach the last gap space, we're just going to do 1 double crochet. Okay, so just work 1 double crochet into the last gap space like that. Okay, and then to finish off row 5, all you need to do is work a slip stitch into the third chain. Okay, so just count 1, 2, 3. So this one right here, make a slip stitch. So insert your hook directly into that space, grab your yarn, pull it through, and pull it through again. Okay, so that finishes our row 5. So as you see, that row 5 is quite similar to your row 2, right, where we do 2 double crochets like that. Okay, 2 double crochet chain 1, 2 double crochet chain 1. Okay, so if you want your granny circle to be larger, all you need to do is repeat that. So repeat row 3 next. So we just repeated row 2, right? So in the next row you're going to do 3 double crochet chain 1, 3 double crochet chain 1. Okay, so to make your granny circle larger, just repeat rows 2, 3 and 4 again and again. So here I'll just end my circle here. So when you're done, all you need to do is chain 1. Okay, grab your scissors, leave a little bit of yarn to sew in the end, cut off your yarn like that and pull through like this, tighten your nose and just sew in this end. Okay, and you can also cut off your end here in the middle. I've already cut it off. If you had worked it with your stitches, then you can cut it off, or else sew in the end and cut off the excess. Okay, so I've just sewed in my ends and my granny circle is complete. You can also add another row of a border, like you can add edging. So you can add a shell edging or a V-stitch border edging, you know, to sort of give a nice border to your granny circle. That's totally up to you. So this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you could follow this tutorial, and please give this video a thumbs up if you could, and subscribe to my channel for more wonderful tutorials on how to crochet, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.